Well, I've been challenged to get out of this thing. I was eager to get in, but now I'm not so eager to get out. Wait, maybe I locked myself in here. Oh, ha! I was pulling up on the wrong thing. Ha! Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode. Today, we're going to take a look at a 2012 Lamborghini Aventador. So, a little bit of history about this vehicle here. This Aventador is the big daddy to the Huracan. This is the model that came after the Murcielago has been discontinued. In 2012, they brought this car out. Why is this a collectible car? There's a few avenues we can look at. It maintains value, and it's highly sought after. As it came out with such a new defined look, it looks like a jet fighter. Another real key to this is going to be limited production. With 958 models of the coupe and 18 roadsters ever made of this year, that makes it a collectible vehicle. So we are inside the Lamborghini now. The moment you sit in here, you notice there's actually a good amount of room. In here, you got your cluster in front of you, and you see this beautiful carbon fiber steering wheel. To the left of the carbon fiber steering wheel, you're going to notice something a little different. Most Lamborghinis don't have this. This one has an airlift system. So this is equipped with air ride. Looking at the center console, looks like a jet fighter. You have a nice dashboard in here, media system. As you come down, there's a bunch of gauges, most which I don't know what the hell do. Come down here, you got all your settings, whether it's Strada, Sport, or Corsa. My favorite thing about these cars is you have a flick switch. All right, everyone. After taking a look at this car, the 2012 Lamborghini Aventador, we got to remember a few key points about this car. One, why is it a collectible? Well, it's highly sought after, maintains value, it's limited production, making it extremely rare. Another thing we need to remember and take a look at is the style. When this car came out, I remember being googly-eyed, and I'm extremely happy to be beside and reviewing this car today. The most crazy thing about it is the performance. You could be driving down the road normal, put your foot to the floor, and take off like a jet, which it looks like. Appreciate it coming out, bringing the Aventador out. Love it every time I see it. So, viewers, as you can tell, this is not your average Aventador. Rushil, fill us in what's done to it, man.
Well, let's start from the beginning.
All right.
So the car started out as a 2012 normal Aventador. I wanted to do something different to my car when I was looking to build a car. I'd signed up for a rally, and my idea of a rally was who brings the best looking car. I did not know it was just about driving, not about the car. So I went out to start designing or build a car that would stand out.
Right.
And we started out with the 2012 Aventador. It was black in color.
Right.
We repainted the entire car. That was the first thing. I chose gold because the gold color is a very special edition color that they have. It's called Oro Elias.
Okay.
And we added a little more red and green to it, so when you actually look at it in sunlight, you see the red and green sparkles coming out of the paint. And then we Liberty walked it, made it a wide body, cut the fenders and widened the car. Then we partnered up with Anarchy. That was through our friends at Simply Tire at that time.
Right.
Alan and Zook Alan owned the place. Zook was working there. They hooked me up with these wheels, and at that time Anarchy had just come out. They are a part of HRE Wheels.
Right. Right.
And they wanted to do something crazy. So we got them to custom design this, and this was the first three-piece wheel with hidden hardware. If you actually look at the wheel, you can't see where the nuts and bolts are. They're all hidden inside.
Right.
And it's a two-tone paint, so we tried to get the color of the rims to as close as to the color of the car, and that was the first mod, and we went on the rally. After that, I started to do a few little things here and there. I got a new steering wheel, got a custom steering wheel done to it. Last year I put bags on this car because the original low ride Aventador, I had it on springs. Because I do rallies on it, it was hurting my back, and it just didn't work.
Right.
So I decided to bag the car, and it has become a much more comfortable ride since I've bagged it. I've done 3 rallies after I got the bags on, and I cannot complain. We've driven down all the way to Nashville with bags on, did not have any issues, went over potholes, went over bumps. It's been very reliable that way. Did have some engine issues, like these cars are famous for them.
Right. Let's get a little into that.
Yeah.
What is the main issue, I guess, with these vehicles?
Well, servicing the car, you do need to do a lot of servicing. You got to baby them. They are like your either first wife or second wife. I mean, it needs a lot of maintenance.
Okay.
People that buy them usually don't do oil changes regularly. That is one thing that I usually do with all my cars.
Right.
I try to service them before even their regulated service intervals come in. So, like this car gets an oil change every 2,500 kilometers.
Right.
So, and spark plugs are changed every 10,000 kilometers on it. So, when I first got the car, I did not know what issues there were there. The car had been sitting for a year, not started, before I bought it, and we did the transformation. So we started the car after it was painted and bolted and everything was done, and we realized that there were a bunch of issues with the engine. And we're like, okay, it's too late. We got to get the car together to get out on the rally.
Right.
So slowly I figured out there was an O2 sensor issue that we had. My car was running on 8 cylinders for a good 6 months. We figured out that issue, and finally I think it's getting to a point where I can't part with it. I've tried selling the car at times when I've gotten frustrated with it, but now it's gotten to a point where all 12 cylinders fire, the car drives properly, it's comfortable, and it stands out. So I mean, at this point I don't think there is any other car that I would look at and say that I want that more than this.
Well, what is your favorite design about this car? Besides what you have on it right now, we'll go into that right after, but when this came off the factory line, what drove you to get this car?
It was the looks. It's the front to the back, the sides, the way it's designed. I think now we are in 2020, so this has been 9 years since this car came out. And in 9 years, there have been cars, but every car that has come out since then has been competing with the looks of an Aventador.
Right.
And those cars are now matching up to the looks of it. Like look at a McLaren, like even the Ferraris. I don't think, like I am a Lamborghini person. I'm not going to badmouth any other car makers, but I don't think there are cars that are out there competing that can outlook the looks of an Aventador.
Right. No, I think it still looks like it could come off the factory line right now, right?
Yeah.
So now let's get into, obviously you've had a vision for this car. What is if you could pinpoint one thing about this car that you love the most and the design, what is it?
Well, it's the back of the car. It's very, very interesting.
Is that keyword for sexy?
It is. But I don't want to get you demonetized now.
What can you do? You can't hide the truth, and we'll do that.
So yeah, I mean, the car at the back, it has a lot of things going on. Pretty sure you've seen. I mean, I've got a titanium exhaust. Now, the car is full of flaws, but it's been hidden by other flaws that are there. So I've taken pieces from different places, different parts, different manufacturers, and I've mashed them together into the car. For example, my exhaust system is a Frankenstein system. I got IP downpipes, and they are connected to an FI exhaust system. which came with valves,
Right.
but it didn't come with the valve connectors or the remote, so I could never attach the valves. And then as the car drove and it got louder and wilder, I blew out those valves that were there. So now my car there's no valves to turn down the car.
I think I found that out while we were driving.
Yeah, so, and my neighbors don't like me at all. So the back of the car is, when we were building it, we forgot to see how wide we went. And it got, like, to fit the 355s, we had to widen the car more than it had to be. And to a point where now there's no tow truck on the road that can tow this car. So I can't break down anywhere on the side of the road because it doesn't fit on a tow truck.
Yeah.
I can't, to trailer this car is you have to find very particular trailers. So anywhere that I have to go and I want to take the car, I have to drive the car.
Yep.
So it can't be shipped. And we came into that problem when I brought the car home for the first time. It did not fit in my garage. So I had to find a space where this car could be parked. So I struck a deal with somebody at one of my offices, and we took up a storage space where we can store the car.
Doesn't fit in a standard garage.
Nope.
No basic car here, guys. As you hear that, well, man, I appreciate you having us out here to see this beautiful car. Thank you for showing it off. Driving it, mind-blowing. So, guys, this is Rushil here. We thank him, and see you next episode.
Subscribe.
Oh,
Click
no,
the
no, no,
click
but
the
that's a
subscribe
different
button.
one. That has to be a whole different cut.
Oh shit.
No, we're leaving this in, not actually this.
Fine. You want me to tell them now?
Sure.
Guys, come on. Hit that like button, hit that subscription button, and leave a comment below if you like the content. If you want to be on the show, you got a collectible vehicle, hit me up, Mike at driveforcancer.ca.